When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but do not ever quit. Success is a failure turned inside out. Let's talk and clear the clouds of doubt.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome, dear travelers, to Huda TV's onboard in-flight entertainment on Saudi Arabian Airlines. We've taken off from Jeddah. We took a small transit in Athens, Greece, and now we only have an hour left till we reach our final destination, which of course is Sarajevo. I'm just joking. I'm not really a captain, but I'm joined by Captain Hamoud, who has spent many years of service in Saudi Arabian Airlines and of course the Royal Saudi Air Force. And we're continuing in our 4-part series, A Trip with the Pilot on the Ground, and I have been enjoying it. Hope you guys have as well at home. Captain Hamoud, thank you so much for doing the series and coming with us to visit us at Let's Talk.
Jazakallah khair. It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much, Captain. Of course, we have our passengers. You guys aren't in the studio audience today. You guys are first-class passengers on Saudi Arabian Airlines. This state, just relax. The drinks are coming and the peanuts are coming. And you guys are going to be home in Sarajevo soon, inshallah. Thank you, guys. Captain, it's been fun. We talked about a lot of various things. I have a couple of questions just for my personal life, actually. I've flown with my wife when she was pregnant, and she was, I think, 6 or 7 months pregnant. And I was so scared. What has your experience been with pregnant women? Is it safe for them to fly? Have you had any deliveries on the airplane or anything like that?
Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Jazakallah khair. Very good question. Well, it's international law, with all airlines that, women, when she's 7 months or 9 months, she's not supposed to be on board.
Oh, okay.
But unfortunately, some women, they can sneak,
okay.
Because, the security or the people checking the passenger, they cannot, check exactly how big her,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But she must take care of herself. Her husband or she herself, she should really admit how many months, because it is dangerous on her. Because remember we talk about severe turbulence,
right?
And some bombs, on the
air bombs. Like
yes,
you said,
air bombs. Sometimes this may cause her, to deliver, on board.
Okay.
So it is not allowed for pregnant women, especially 7 months and more, to be on board, because
okay.
7 months may deliver.
On
ground.
Okay.
On ground.
Yeah, right.
So 9 months for sure.
Okay.
So actually international law does not permit. But just in case, if this has happened and the woman on board and she's, because of the period or,
right.
It's time for delivery, all because of air bombs or severe. Alhamdulillah, most of the, the cabinets are well trained,
okay.
To help her, and it did happen. It did happen many times that stewardess managed to help a lady to deliver a baby on board. And they give sometime airline give this boy 1 year ticket
yeah.
as a courtesy.
Yeah, of course. Okay, but does the air pressure in the cabin affect the baby? That's not an issue. The issue is she might deliver, and that's the problem.
The air pressure does not affect.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Captain, for clarifying that for us. Do we have any questions from our passengers in the first class? Go ahead, brother.
Yes, I have a question. Is there a full-time doctor on board?
Excellent. I'm sorry, excellent. Where are you from, brother? What was your name?
I'm from Bosnia. My name is Dino.
Okay, that's an excellent question, Dino. I was just thinking the same. Is there a doctor on board?
No, we don't have full-time doctor, but all the flight attendants are trained on first aid. All the flight attendants are trained for first aid. So, but in case, the case need a doctor, usually, even in other airlines, not only on Saudi airline, the flight attendant will announce, by mic, and they said, is there any doctor on board? And sometime, many times you will find doctors on board, and they need help, they need his help or her help. And it did happen, many times the doctor on board. But you don't need from policy or regulation point of view a full-time doctor on board.
You don't think it's necessary, Captain?
Well, no, because it's very rare, cases,
okay.
It's not, but first aid, like if you need oxygen, the flight are well trained,
okay.
If somebody is diabetic also, they can help him, as I told you, even if a woman, by mistake, she got on board and she is 7 months or 9 months and she delivered, then also they can help her. But some
Wow.
cases which need a real doctor, they will just try to, find a doctor on board. And it's
Okay.
very rare cases they need that.
Okay. And of course, you can always land at the nearest airport if you're not over
If
the
there
ocean.
is emergency, of
Yeah.
course. If there is a need to land, the pilot then, because safety comes first. Even if you're going to delay the passenger, but of course, life of a human being is very important. Then if it's really his case need to be served on ground, then the captain will look for the nearest airport and land.
Excellent. Thank you, Captain.
Sure.
Now, Captain, as passengers, when we go to the airport, we see a plane that says Saudi Arabian Airlines or Olympic Airlines, TWA, different logos on the planes. But the planes themselves, who are they manufactured by? Are they all identical? Or are they similar to cars where you drive a Ford, a Buick?
Oh, I see. Well, as you know, Boeing is Boeing.
Okay, that's the American company. It's
That's
very
right,
famous,
an
yeah.
American company, like TriStar is Lockheed,
American company
Some
also.
Lockheed, another Lockheed. You have
Okay.
the Air France. I mean, also, they have the Airbus.
Which is European?
Yeah, European. Airbus is almost French,
Oh, okay.
Most Airbus is French. And you have also British, so many different companies are, producing
Oh, okay.
airplane,
What were you using as a pilot on Saudi Arabian Airlines?
We have both.
Okay.
We have American airplanes, we have furniture, we have Airbuses.
Oh, okay.
We have Boeings, we used to have TriStar, but not anymore.
Okay.
We have also G2s for special flight,
Ah, okay.
Falcons.
Right, okay.
We have different airplanes.
But if you fly an American airplane, does it say the speed in miles per hour? And if you fly an Airbus, will it say the speed in kilometers per hour?
No, it's the same.
It's kilometers.
Yeah. No, it's the speed, Speed is by nautical mile.
Oh, excuse me, that's right. Yeah,
by
of
nautical.
course.
But, if you ask me how many, we can calculate, we can, convert
No problem,
nautical
yeah.
miles, to kilometers.
Okay, yeah.
We can do that.
Oh, that's no problem. What did you prefer, or you didn't really care? The Airbus, the Boeing, or was there one?
Well, every airplane has its own, features.
Yeah,
every
yeah.
plane has. This is better than this, But usually, airplane, the cockpit is almost the same.
It's almost identical, anyways. Yeah.
It's almost the same, But this is faster, this is slower.
Right.
This is more convenient. But flying, the crew, flying for them is the same. Whether he's flying 747 or
Right.
7, flying is flying.
Yeah.
But of course, definitely, every pilot, in the beginning, he's looking forward to the best airplane, which is 747.
Why is it the best? Because it's the biggest.
Well, it's international flight, it's bigger, and
Right.
as I said, flying is a challenge job.
Right.
Yeah,
It's a challenge.
challenge.
But even flying a one-prop airplane, that's still a challenge, isn't it? Landing and taking off.
Of course,
Yeah.
flying is a challenge, whether it's small or big.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, like you said, riding a bicycle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because we started with one prop anyway.
That's how
my
you
life.
started, yeah.
I started my career with flying one prop airplane, Cessna 172.
Yeah. What do you do in an emergency if a one prop goes out? If the engine goes out?
We will also there are training.
There's a
for that.
checklist.
Oh yeah, the training for that.
Oh, okay.
Usually, when you fly, on this airplane, in the beginning of our life.
Right.
Yeah. Also, we are being trained by instructor, how to land, and they will show us during training how can I deal with this.
Right,
And
right.
they will show me. Usually, this airplane is actually flown in a training area.
Okay.
In a training area.
Right.
And during your training, the instructor will show you what to do, and he will show you also the area which you can land.
Oh,
So
okay.
even if I lose the prop, or the engine,
there's a way to land.
We've been trained how to deal with it.
Oh, okay. Inshallah. Captain, in flight school, are you only learning technical things like this, or are you studying the history of aviation? What was the first airplane? Stuff like that, or not
no,
really?
we don't study the history of aviation. No, it's not our job.
That's like a hobby
It's not something important. that you study the history of aviation.
Right,
But of
right.
course, mainly we study, of course, aviation. Navigation,
Right.
meteorology, electronic. And of course the rules of the rules of airline, like in our case, whether with the FAA regulation.
Okay.
And each type of airplane, they have their own regulation.
Okay.
Like special flight, they have special regulation. Line operation, they have their own.
Okay.
Private airplane, for certain people, they have their own regulation.
I see.
This is the main, and also the system of the airplane. We study the system. When you are assigned on each airplane, you must go to ground school and study the system before you are released to fly the airplane.
Okay. When you were trained to be a pilot, who were your teachers? Americans, Europeans, other people from the Middle East, or who were the instructors in the flight
in
school?
the past, if you're talking about 30 years ago or more, it used to be from, they are foreigners.
Okay.
But now, alhamdulillah, in our airline, we have a lot.
Yeah, that's
alhamdulillah. I can assure you, You know, the percentage of Saudi on Saudi airline, they are almost 90%.
Very good. Yeah, that's
90%.
good. That's good. Excellent. Thank you, Captain Hamid.
Sure.
Do we have any more questions from our passengers? Are you in first class or are you in business class? Because you're in the second row.
I'm in
You're
business
supposed to
class.
be first class.
You're first class. I'm just teasing. Go ahead.
My name is Asmi and I'm from Bosnia. Firstly, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum
Secondly,
salam.
my question is, how long flights attends?
Sorry?
How long flights attends?
Oh, the flight attendants, how long do they have to go through training? Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you.
That's a good question. Yeah, because many people, you know, let me go back and, you know, for, again, what is actually the real job of the flight attendants? As I said before, you know, the real job actually, or the actual job of the flight attendants is not only to serve coffee and tea like many people think.
Right.
No, actually, their main job actually just to save the passenger after, of course, after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protection and help. Because when they go on training, you know, they may take only 1 week for serving coffee and tea. But they got safety training up to 3 weeks for 1 month. You know,
Okay,
sometimes more
right.
than that.
Okay.
This tells you that the cabin attendants, the flight attendants are well trained actually to help the passenger in case of emergency, not only serving coffee and tea. So usually it varies, you know, they take about 1 week to 10 days serving coffee, tea, how to
Okay.
serve the passenger,
Right.
and about 1 month or more for, you know, teaching them and giving them training for safety factors in case of emergency.
Okay, Captain, do they also have medical background as well, right? They train them how to give CPR, first aid,
Yes.
all that.
Absolutely.
Okay, of course.
Absolutely. As I said, first aid.
Okay.
All kinds of first aid, they are well trained on that.
Okay, of course. And actually, you as a captain, what about your health? Do you have to have regular medical checkups? And if you're not meet their health regulations, will you not be able to fly? Or how does that work?
Very good. You see, this is different. You know, our medical check, all crew medical check, different from medical check for any other people. You know, every 6 months, you know, the captain medical check is different from the co-pilot.
Okay.
The captain every 6 months must go and make a medical check for his ear, his vision, all his blood analysis, everything. You know, he will make all analysis to make sure. Also they check his, you know, hearing, you know,
Okay.
in a special cabinet.
Yeah.
You know, and they make sure he's, you know, the co-pilot is every 1 year. Not only that, also training. You know,
Right.
every 6 months the captain will stop from flying. He go ground school to give refreshment.
Oh, wow.
To give
okay.
him, you know, refreshment, you know, for all emergency on this.
Oh, that's an excellent point, just to keep them well trained.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I see.
Absolutely.
But every 6 months, it seems excessive, but this is a safety.
Safety.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
What are some health things that could take you out of the cockpit, for example? If you did a medical checkup, what are some things that if you didn't pass, they would not let you fly anymore? I'm sure your vision, if your vision is bad.
Of course, this is, you know, if you talk about health-wise,
Yeah.
anything to do with your health, you know, if your hearing is weak, if your vision, you know, is getting weak,
Right.
well, they give you a chance to get medication.
Okay.
Then if you, alhamdulillah, you are cured, then you go back, you know.
Okay.
Because as I told you, you know, the captain is the one who's in charge, and he is the commander of the airplane.
Right, of
He's the
course.
commander of the airplane, you know, and he have to be, of course, healthy. But concerning vision, you know, if he is using, you know, in the beginning, when you're only a cadet, they
Right.
don't accept you if your vision weak.
Okay.
But, you know, after, you know, in the long time, you know, of course, you know, we know that anybody past 45 years, you know, all you can ask of the doctors,
Right.
your vision will become weak. So it is allowed to use glasses or eye lenses.
Eye lenses, for
Yeah,
example.
they do, no problem.
Yeah, to
but
some
if
degree.
if you have a real sickness,
Right.
which cause your health and it may jeopardize the safety of the airplane, the passenger, definitely do not allow you to fly.
Of course, yeah. But even obesity, I would imagine.
I'm sorry?
Even if you've gained weight over the years and if you've gained many kilos, would they stop you from...
No, weight don't, because I have seen overweight captains, no problem.
But you said the height was an issue.
The height in the beginning, yes.
Oh, okay.
The height, yeah. No
Why?
problem. Because they make sure that you reach the pedals of the airplane.
Oh, yeah,
You
okay.
can see the screen in front. We don't want the.
I
with
see,
my
yeah.
respect, they don't hire, you know, midget, you know. Of
Oh,
course,
okay,
definitely.
just because physically it'd be difficult, yeah.
And safety also.
Yeah, of course, safety, yeah.
Of course,
Okay,
yes.
thank you, Captain. Excellent.
Sure.
Do we have any more questions from our passengers in first class? Go ahead, brother.
My name is Main Abdurazik. I am Egyptian.
Thank you very much.
And as the first, I like
Going to Sarajevo, huh?
Yes.
Are you going to
You're going
Syria?
to
But you're
Bosnia.
on our flight right now. You're going to Syria. You're going to Bosnia.
I am Egyptian.
It's,
We heard about recurrent training. what's it, and who is will performing this training?
Excellent
Oh,
question.
mashallah.
Recurrent training. What does
You
that
hear about recurrent training, mashallah, tabarakallah. You guys seem to know a lot about flying.
mean? I think you
Okay,
fly a
that's a
lot.
good question, yeah. Recurrent training, this is done to all, cockpit crew and cabin attendants.
Okay.
As I mentioned a minute ago, for safety wise,
Right.
the crew must go to recurrent training, school and flying.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example now for the captain, as I
Okay.
mentioned. The captain have every 6 months, they must, they will freeze him from flying.
Okay.
They will hold him from flying for after 6 months.
Okay.
He got to go to school, refresh his memory about system, everything to do with the system of the airplane.
Everything,
Ground
okay.
school, and also medical check for the pilot.
we said, right.
And also flying,
Okay.
up to 3 days maximum. He will go school and then medical check and flying. And he have to go make at least 3 takeoff and 3 landings. But in
Okay.
airplane, training airplane, no passenger.
No passenger.
Yeah,
Right.
he go training and in the same equipment he fly.
Okay.
Like if he's a 747 or a TriStar or Airbus, then they will give him 3 landing and 3 takeoff every
okay.
6 months
Oh, okay. It's good.
to make sure he's still current
Yeah.
and he's still fresh and he's still memorized. And
Yeah,
when
right.
when he go to ground school, he go through all emergency anything again like he just started to make
Okay.
sure that he's aware.
Yeah, of course.
Because as I told you, co-pilot do the same but every year.
Every year.
Every year, yes.
Okay.
Cabin attendants the same. Every year they should go back and
Okay.
have refreshment.
That's-
That's what you call recurrent training.
Thank you, Brother, for the excellent question. That makes, I think, the people at home that are scared of flying, makes them feel a little bit more easy. We have to go to a short break, you guys. We have about 45 more minutes till we reach our final destination, so don't go anywhere. Stay in your seats. We'll be right back.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala choose whom He wills subhanahu wa ta'ala for His mercy, for His messengership, for the revelation to be revealed. This is not for the human beings to make that decision. If a person would turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sincerely, truthfully, asking for forgiveness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised to forgive. We have as Muslims a duty, and that is to recite the book of Allah, to ponder over the verses, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to act according to the Quran. The mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encompasses everything, but who would this mercy will be for? And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent to all mankind. So the ummah or the people of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam are all mankind since the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam till the day of judgment. Why waste our life without getting to know every verse in the Quran, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us?
Assalamu alaikum, dear travelers, and welcome back to Huda TV's onboard in-flight entertainment on Saudi Arabian Airlines. Captain Hamoud, I was joking with our passengers about first class, business class, coach. I know every time I fly coach. It's the most affordable way. What is the difference between them in price and service? It seems like a different world when you walk by first class and when you on your way to coach.
Well, that's true. Absolutely the true. Well, you talk about money now.
You're talking about money,
Absolutely.
okay.
Prices, of course. Well, definitely first class is different from coach and also different from business. But lately, most of airline, they almost skip first class and they make it business class.
Okay.
And they double the seats because this is make it cheaper and to increase. But some airlines still have first class. Well, the difference in both, in price and also in surface.
Okay.
And also in the the size of the chair, the seat.
Of
The seat
course,
is more convenient.
Yeah.
You can almost make it like a bed,
Yeah.
especially on long flight.
Yeah.
But in coach, you're just sitting all the time. Your knees on your neck.
Yeah.
It's kind of really different, especially on long flight.
Of
Especially on long flight, from Europe to America or from Middle East to Europe to
Yeah.
America. It's really kind of but first class, even in serving the food is
Right.
different.
Okay.
What you get in first class You know, the type of food you get is different from coach,
Okay.
and also different from business.
Okay.
If an airplane has first class and business class and coach, you will notice that the food also different. The first class, you know,
Just
I
better
can say
quality.
good quality, and you know, more delicious.
Yeah.
Because you pay money. You
Yeah.
you just get what you paid for.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
They give you what you paid for. you know.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. But what about with your experience at Saudi Arabian Airlines? Did you offer customers that flew a lot? For example, did you ever bump them up to first class or give them discounts or anything like that?
You talk about the courtesy.
Yeah, courtesies. Yeah.
Yes, there are. Yeah, that's a good question. Yes. We not only Saudi Airlines. Now all airlines are giving what kind special card, you know,
Okay.
for passenger who fly with them many hours.
Okay, you're
So
right.
I'll give you an example in our airline, Saudi. We have what we call Al Fursan card.
What does Farsan mean in Arabic?
Fursan mean, you know, the
Cha-
Faris, the one who riding horse.
Oh, okay, like a knight.
Yeah.
He's like
You
a
know,
knight.
you know,
Oh, okay.
The
yeah.
one who riding the horse, they call him
Okay.
Faris.
Oh, okay.
So Fursan is a plural of Faris.
Oh, okay, the knight.
So that's why we call it Al Fursan Club.
Okay.
So we have three types of card. We have golden card, we
Uh-huh.
have silver card, and we have a bronze card.
Okay.
So the more hours you fly
Right.
with the airline, then you will, you know, they will, give you what you call,
Miles or frequent flyer
yeah,
miles.
if you fly, the more miles you fly with them,
Right.
the more you get, you know, the more you have
Discounts
the
and-
they will give you discount.
Right.
No, with this card, with this card, you know, if you're holding golden card,
Right.
of course you will have more, you know, priority. If you
Priority.
they will give you priority in reservation.
Ah.
They will give you, of course, first class service.
Right.
You will be allowed to go to the lounge.
Right.
At the airport. You're allowed to go to the airport
I
lounge
see,
and
yeah.
serve you with food while you're waiting, newspapers. You know, they will give you, you know, the more you fly in, they will give you what you call promotion.
Okay, I see.
You know, they give you promotion, you know. This include, of course, rely 100% how many hours you
You
fly.
fly.
with them. Yeah.
So, Captain, how come sometimes I go to the airport and they say I have a flight, I have a seat, and then a couple hours later they say the flight's been overbooked? Why would something like that happen? Does the airline specifically, purposely overbook flights, or it's accidents, or they're giving somebody priority?
No. What happened, you know, that some passengers, this is the problem that many airlines are facing.
Mm-hmm.
But now, lately, many airlines have solved this problem, you know. Because you will find some passenger, you know, they make reservation, but they don't call and cancel it.
Yeah.
So what the airline do to avoid this problem, they make overbooked. They, you know,
I
I'll give you
see.
an example. If
Okay.
the airplane, you know, take only 300 seats,
Right.
they will accept 350.
Oh.
Why?
okay.
Because sometimes people don't show.
Right.
Passengers don't show.
Right.
What you call it no show.
Yeah.
So the airline to avoid losing seats or avoiding airplane takeoff, you know, you go to other destination without passenger, the seats are empty or vacant.
Right.
Now they came up with this solution.
Right.
So this is actually help them to solve, you know, to avoid airplane leaving with
Empty
vacant
seats.
seats.
Oh, I see. So that's a financial issue as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, because it costs them a lot of money
Yeah, of course.
to have 20 seats vacant.
Empty. Yeah, of course.
course.
Thank you, Captain.
Sure.
Do we have any more questions from our passengers?
Yeah, there is one.
Go ahead, brother.
Okay, my name is Omar and I come from Bosnia.
Oh, thank you, Omar.
In my personal experience, sometimes landings are so calm and sometimes not. So why does the landing is so different on each flight?
Good
Oh, my
question. I
God.
think we all want to know why. Sometimes they're so smooth and sometimes they're
That's
really
right.
not good.
Well, this is true. This is absolutely true. It varies sometimes between captain and other captain, but most of the time is the weather problem. You know, sometimes
Okay.
you know the airplane comes into land with there's a very strong wind on the runway. You know, and there is nothing captain can do. This is nothing to do with the captain, you know, ability or qualification.
Okay.
And when it's very strong, but if it's smooth, normal landing, you know. It does really varies between captain and captain, you know, and this is also to do with experience.
Okay.
You will find some captains who really have a very long experience, you know, and also it relies on judgment. How the captain judging his distance from the ground.
Okay.
When he, close completely throttle all the way down.
Right.
Even though, you know, there is, you know, what you call announcement. There is what you call, you know, every time you approach the airplane approaches, you know, the runway.
Okay.
You will hear in the cockpit, you know, a recording saying 50 feet, 40 feet.
Before impact.
30, yeah. They will give you an amount. But plus this, also his judgment is to
Right.
do with it. Some captain, maybe, he misjudged the distance, and he'll close throttle before, and then he'll the air sink, and then we'll have the rough landing.
I see, yeah.
Some of the captain know his judgment is excellent. He knows exactly when he can close throttle.
Yeah.
And he, completely,
This is from
drops-
experience.
And then he also controlling airplane slowly before he touched down,
Right,
So
right.
actually it varies between captain and captain, but mostly, what causes rough landing is the weather actually,
Okay.
and the wind sometimes.
Right before you land, you're so focused on the landing, are you still in communication with the ATC? Are you just focused?
No, the one who's flying should focus
The
on the runway.
that's
The one
right,
who's
yeah.
not flying take care of ATC.
Oh, because there's no way to handle both, of course.
Well, he will, of course, he will be hearing it. Of course, the one who's
Yeah.
flying the airplane, also he's listening.
yeah.
He's listening to the ATC.
Yeah.
But of course, he's, I would say 70% focusing on the airplane, on the runway.
Yeah, this is
And the instrument. Sometime at night, you don't focus on the runway. At night, also, even at daytime, when the visibility is low, he is focusing in the airplane, flying the airplane, his instrument, and also to the radio. But usually, the one who's not flying is the one taking care of ATC.
Of course, and Captain, this is the skill of the pilot. This is what you're paid for, right? To land and take off. This is the most critical
Yes.
stages, like you said. Captain, every once in a while you hear of a plane that the landing gear doesn't open. Every once in a while we do hear about on the news. So what would you do in that event? Would you land the plane on water? Would you land the plane on the runway with no wheels? What would you do?
Oh, no.
What would happen?
They will not land the airplane on the wheel, neither on the water. But, there is, as I told you in the beginning, that each emergency
Has a checklist.
has a checklist and
Okay.
also expectation. They are expecting that. So it did happen sometime, the wheel, sometime one wheel, maybe the nose wheel will not come down, sometime the right wheel will not come down, sometime both of them.
Oh.
So the captain has a procedure to follow.
Okay.
He will go try once, 3 times, And for your information, we have, at the cockpit, we have 3 green lights.
Okay.
If you see the 3 green lights, that means all wheels are down.
Okay.
If you see only 1 light, that means 2 is not down, and if
Yeah,
you see
right.
2 and so what the captain should do, he will go, and try try to put it once, 3 times.
Okay.
And then if he doesn't, there is what you call manual.
Ah.
Yeah, there is what you call another way to put the wheel down.
Manually.
Manually.
That doesn't fail.
And they have what you call another. Everybody for information, everything have another. If
Option.
it didn't work, then you have another
Backup.
way to do it.
Okay.
So in this case, if there is no way, then in this cases, sometime the captain will call the ATC and he said, please put foam on the runway.
Oh.
And then they will put foam on the runway.
Okay.
Then especially when the airplane is light. Then he just go land on the wheel, which is down, and then after, this is in
Yeah.
case, this is the last solution.
Last
I say.
resort.
Last
Yeah.
solution, So now he land on the wide, and this is also need very good technique.
Okay.
But you go if this, right. If the wheel on the right, then you just land on the right wheel. Just after you touch down, you move the airplane.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But this is very rare.
I've never
very
done
rare. I just want you to assure you to be confident. It doesn't happen all the time.
Captain, at what point do you let the wheels down?
Sorry.
When you're approaching the runway, at what point do you release the wheels?
Well, usually on approach. When you are exactly,
The last
Well,
one.
there are some steps, the captain doing,
Okay.
First of all, he will reduce his speed. And then when he almost exactly on the runway, and he is actually, he see, for your information, there is lights on the runway.
Yeah, of course.
So if the captain, if he's an instrument, there is, in the cockpit, this instrument show him he's exactly on glide path.
Okay.
He's exactly not high, not low. He's
perfect.
perfect on lining with the runway.
Okay.
And if he doesn't see, there is also lights. If he see, green light, and green light, that's mean he is.
He can go. He can land.
If he see red lights, I mean he's low.
Oh.
This is in visual case.
And this is dangerous if you
Yeah.
see a red light.
Yeah, he should. Well, what he just
Pull up a little bit,
put
yeah.
more speed, pull up, and try to adjust himself to be in the runway. Yeah, that's
Okay,
it.
yeah. Excellent. Thank you, Captain.
Sure.
Do we have any more questions from our passengers?
Yes, we have. Assalamu alaikum. I'm
Alaikum
Yusuf
salam.
Jar from Bosnia. I want to greet all of these millions people who are watching us, and especially we always forgot these people from the crew, from the TV crew who are filming us. So I want us to greet them.
Thank you.
And to ask you about the last minute flights. I heard, for example, some people from Bosnia, they float from Bosnia to Luxembourg for 6 euros.
From where?
For
Bosnia
6 euros.
To Egypt?
No, from Bosnia to Luxembourg.
Oh, to Luxembourg for 6 euros.
Can you give us some of the advices about the last minute to explain it
to
us?
The price?
Yeah, sometimes you
Last
said
minute.
when you go to the airport, there's last minute availability, and they let you fly a plane for very cheap. He said sometimes they go from Bosnia to Luxembourg for 6 euros.
Oh, I'll tell you one day, in many airlines now, they have classes. They have, you could find a person with you on coach. You paid $100 and he paid only $50.
Yeah,
you are in the same seat in the same coach.
Yeah.
Why? This is a new procedure by many airlines to encourage you. If you make reservation earlier, let's say 1 month before time, you will have cheaper price.
Okay.
If you just came only 1, 2, 3 days before flight, the price will be higher.
Will go up, of course. Yeah.
So they don't get to make, first of all, to encourage you to make reservation ahead of time. Also, to encourage passengers to make sure they have full flight.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
This is the reason, But sometime, some airline, especially airline who just started, to make advertisement,
right,
to make commercial about themselves, they encourage people. They will tell you, okay, flight from so and so to and so is only $50, and they will say this is limited time.
Okay.
Yeah, this is sometimes they do it just to encourage you to use their airline.
Right. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
But international way, the airline, all of them, they should not go very low price so that they affect affect other airlines, because the other airlines could complain.
Right.
Yes,
right.
This airline is causing a problem for us. He's putting so low price that all passengers with him, and we are losing money. We are losing business.
Right. Of course.
Yeah.
By the way, Captain, did you fly for free on your days off? If you want to go somewhere and you were working at Saudi Arabian Airlines and you want to take your family to a vacation, can you fly for free?
All crew, all airline employees, they get this courtesy. All airline, all airline giving their employees, whether pilots or even staff on ground, they give them free ticket once a year, and for him and his family and his father and mother, and then you can take discount tickets.
Okay, right, of course,
discount ticket, all the year. Like for example, for us in the pilots, we get 85% on first class and business.
Oh, wow, okay.
And we get 90% on coach. This is all the year.
Okay. Captain, let's talk about the luggage. I mean, the weight of the plane affects you as a pilot, I imagine. So do they weigh the amount of luggage and tell you you're carrying this much luggage and this much weight in the plane?
Very, very good question. Of course. This is very important. The Saudi staff, the crew or the airline staff at the airport, they must make sure that they weigh every single luggage. Except there is what you call a courtesy, which you can, like suitcases, or a small case, they may live, but they also calculate, they're putting certain weight. Standard weight for the thing you take it with you.
Right.
But for big luggage, they will not allow you to take it with you. They must put it in scale. They must put it in the weight.
Right.
You know how much weight is airplane.
Right.
So every time a flight is scheduled for departure, the captain will not move the airplane until they give him what you call load sheet.
Ah, okay.
And he will look at the load sheet, and he makes sure that the weight of the airplane, including passengers and luggage and fuel, does not exceed the maximum weight.
Okay.
He should not take with the maximum weight, not to exceed the maximum of the airplane.
Okay.
So yes, he's aware
of that.
And also the staff at the airport, they will not exceed, In other words, they're not supposed, if you come, and you have, more weight, more luggage with you, and it exceeds the weight that you are allowed to.
They charge you a lot of money, right?
Yes.
Why? Because it costs more fuel?
No, because you are only allowed international 40 kilo, for instance.
Yeah.
You are international law, between all airlines, that 40 kilo. Some airline, they give you courtesy, you know, if you are allowed 40 and you brought 5 kilo more, they may give you
sometimes
courtesy.
they say just go. Sometimes
Yeah,
they
but
charge
they
you.
still record it.
Oh, they still record it.
Oh, yeah, they still record it.
For you,
to make sure, you know, it doesn't exceed the weight.
Oh, okay,
You
excellent.
know, the airplane, you know, safety.
Safety first, okay. Thank
Safety
you,
of the
Captain.
airplane, yes.
Excellent, thank you, Captain. You guys, passengers, we're almost landing on Sarajevo, so buckle up your seat belts. We're going to take a quick break before our smooth landing, so you guys stay tuned.
The aim of the show is to really focus and gain a grasp of those things which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves, and those things which will gain for us the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and will make us amongst those who are beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is there any evidence from the Quran that shows that those who repent are beloved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is happier, is more happier with the repentance of his slave than you if you came across your camel after you lost it in a white open land. The love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will enable us to reach into a status wherewith or in which we will taste the beauty of Iman.
We would like to be amongst those who love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and those whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves.
Indeed, you will see your Lord as you see this moon, without having any harm in seeing it alone.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to the final leg of our journey. We're just approaching the airport in Sarajevo. Thank you guys for staying with us on this flight. It's been fun. Captain Hamoud, our flight isn't over yet. We still have some more questions, and we still have some passengers here that would like to ask you some questions. Do we have any questions from the first class?
Yes, I have questions.
Go ahead, brother.
Why they don't allow liquid in
on the plane?
airplane?
That's a good question, and I think it bothers all of us passengers. Why not, Captain?
This been lately. This is only about, I would say, 6-7 years ago. It did happen that an airplane, you know, caused, you know, this liquid, you know, caused an accident in one airplane. I think if my memory doesn't really, I'm still from London. There's a flight took from London, and there is many liquids, especially perfumes, and anything has alcohol or have liquid can explode, you know, during flight. So it did happen one day, you know, about 7 years ago, that a flight left, I think if I'm not mistaken, from London, and all the liquid, you know, and on, you know, not only in the luggage area, no, with the passenger, you know, and it caused too many problems, and especially alcohol. You know, the one in the, you know, the perfume has include alcohol.
Or even the mouthwash.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, or mouthwash. Yeah. That's right. So since then, you know, they stopped this because of safety. You know, usually safety comes first. Right. When you talk about aviation, when you talk about flying, safety. But what you could do, you know, you can identify before the airport, and what they do, they can put it, you know, on you. They take it from you, from the cockpit, and you can put it with your luggage, you know, and they put it in the luggage, but you don't put it with you in the passenger cabin.
Okay.
Because again, safety.
It's part of the cargo. Captain, what about, excuse me, part of the safety, or the cargo, excuse me. Captain, what about the temperature on the plane actually? I remember boarding a flight from Heathrow to Washington, D.C., and I remember it was so cold. And other times the temperature is okay, it's more agreeable. How are they controlling the temperature?
Well, you're right. You know, this is actually can be controlled in the cockpit. You know, if you in case like that, you just call the cabin attendant and tell them it's too cold. And then what they do? They will go to the cockpit and tell them to reduce the temperature.
Oh, it's no problem. Yeah, just like a car.
No, it is controllable.
Yeah, everything is
controllable. You know, but you know, especially in winter, you know, sometimes it's not inside temperature; it's some outside temperature.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you know, when you are flying about, you know, 370, I mean. 37,000 feet or more, the temperature outside reach about -50, -60 sometimes.
My goodness!
So this affects, you know, even if the captain make the temperature low, you are still affected by outside temperature.
Yeah.
You know, especially in winter.
When you're cruising at that altitude and there's rain below you, does that bother you? Or,
below me?
Yeah, but I mean, there's rain, for example, at 30,000 feet.
It doesn't bother
You're
me.
at 37,000
Rain
feet.
will not affect the airplane because the airplane is actually made and manufactured even to discharge electricity.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if I've been hit by electricity, the screen, it being, you know, the detection system, and this will be discharged, you know.
Yeah.
It will not affect the airplane. Rain never been a problem for the airplane.
Oh, okay.
You know, but especially during takeoff, you know, and if it's very heavy during landing, this may cause problems. So again, this is one of the causes, you know, you don't land with heavy rain at the airport. You know, in this case, you just look for alternative and you go to other airport.
Yeah, and snow
But
as
while
well.
flying, doesn't affect at all.
No
rain.
problem. And
Rain.
snow as well.
Well, snow sometime, yes.
Oh, because it could be hard and strike the
Yeah.
plane.
But again, also the airplane are also modified, you know, and manufactured also to get rid of snow.
Yeah, okay, I see. That's
No, if you talk about snow on ground,
That's a different
definitely they have to be cleared before takeoff.
Right.
But
And
if
landing.
you encounter, you know, some snow while flying, you know, the airplane is actually, you know, I mean,
manufactured to deal with this problem.
yes, manufactured, and they have the certain system to get rid of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Captain, in all your years' experience, what was the most difficult landing that you've ever had?
As I told you, you know, actually, the one I mentioned in the first episode, you know, I said when I was a cadet, remember, you know, when I lost my engine because engine fire. Actually, it was actually the most scaring landing for me because, you know, you are flying now gliding. I was gliding, no engine.
Yeah.
You know, I was gliding and I was alone. I was a cadet.
Yeah.
You know, no instructor with me. You know, so that was the most
scary.
scaring landing for me because, you know, I was a little bit scared, and alhamdulillah, when Allah protected me and landed, I was scared until I landed.
Okay.
You know, but after landing, alhamdulillah.
But when you're gliding with no engine, a lot of things can go wrong, right? You have no power. It's like driving a car in neutral, right? So that's a big fear.
Another fear, yes.
Yeah, but
Of
like you said, Allah
course.
subhanahu wa ta'ala give you
Yeah.
the strength to complete
Alhamdulillah.
the landing. Passengers, do we have any questions from the first class? You guys sit tight. We're almost about to land, so you guys just buckle your seatbelts, and we're almost to your destination. Captain Hamoud, I want to ask you. You know, it seems like you miss flying. Are you ever going to go back to flying, or not? It seems like you miss it.
As I told you, you know, missing it, yes, of course I miss it. But I am not really thinking to go back to flying because, especially now, I am almost 10 years after retirement.
Okay.
You know. So, but if you ask me, can you go back fly? Yes, I can.
In your free time?
Yeah. No. I said, if I go fly, can I fly? As I told you, you know, flying airplane like you know, riding a bicycle.
Right.
You cannot forget it. You know.
Yeah.
If I want to go for flying, all what I need is a ground school and 3 more takeoff and landings, and then I can go fly again. You know. And of course renew my certificate.
Of course, yeah.
Because you have a certificate. If it's valid, they accept you. Unless that, you have to, you know, make it valid. You know, again.
When you drive to the airport and board a flight and go home, does it feel strange walking in as a passenger? Do you want to go to the cockpit, or does it feel nice to relax and say?
No, really, I just want to relax.
Yeah, it feels nice after all these years.
Oh yeah, I like to be served.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Because before I was, you know, it's really different when you are sitting as a passenger. You know,
Right.
When I'm sitting on the as a passenger, I don't think like I'm a captain anymore. You know, I just look to myself as a passenger.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I want, you know, to feel I'm a passenger, no anymore. You know.
Yeah, because it seems like the routine of the life of a captain is very hard. You're away from home, you're traveling, you're tired, you're sleeping in hotels.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You hit a good point. Yeah, actually, I would say the most people who have lack of sleep are pilots. You know, because I told you because they're used to it. You know, you're always from home. So this is what the things, you know, the things actually which makes me take a decision to ask, because I ask early retirement. I did not finish my years yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I asked retirement, alhamdulillah, when I requested retirement, I still have 10 years to go.
Oh, okay.
But you know, as I said, because I'm always away from home, my children, you know, growing up, the responsibility of family, being away from home.
Yeah.
So I came to, I make istikhara, alhamdulillah. I made istikhara before I take decision. So I felt really that, alhamdulillah, I'm convenient, and I just decided to take my decision.
Yeah, of
just
course.
to quit.
Yeah, because there comes a time in your life where times change and things change. But it seems like an exciting life, and it's definitely not a normal job.
No,
there's
it's
no
not
way
normal,
about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course, it's one of those exciting jobs. Like it's one of the most exciting jobs you can think. I had a good friend that went to Embry-Riddle University in the United States, and he's a unique person. To be a captain, it takes a unique person in a unique personality. It seems like, in addition to all the training.
Of course, you know, Because you are not you're not just like a manager in an office. You are not of course you need your personality. You need to be strong personality because you're talking about decision now.
Right.
Because not, in my opinion, as I told you before, that there are some training pilots. He couldn't make it as a captain.
Right.
He just continued all his life as a first officer. You talk about decision, about personality, and flying an airplane is not something. It is fun, but in the same time, it's a very, very important responsibility.
How can we relate this to really tawakkul, as we say in Arabic, really relying on Allah? Was being a captain all these years, does it strengthen your iman because you have this great responsibility of having all these passengers on board with you?
Absolutely, that's right. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, as I said, this is a blessing and a promise from Allah that He gave us this facility and gave us this, an airplane. It exceeds, but sometime, up to 50,000, sometime 55,000, sometimes 60,000, weight,
Right.
And imagine this big machine, in the middle of the air.
Right.
This is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to appreciate that, alhamdulillah,
Right,
that
right.
Allah gave us. Imagine, in 3 hours, 4 hours, you will be in your destination. Some destination in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Sometime you take your breakfast at home.
Yeah.
And you take lunch at Paris. And you take your dinner at Washington, D.C. This is amazing.
For example,
this is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
You could pray in Mecca, pray in Medina, pray Fajr in Mecca, pray Asr
That's right.
in Medina, and pray Aisha in Jerusalem.
Yeah, that's right.
If we had a private plane or something.
Inshallah.
Yeah,
Inshallah. We hope that. Inshallah.
Yeah, we hope.
I want to give a question to the passenger.
Yes.
Are you comfortable now with us? Did you have any bumpies or any air turbulence?
No, I didn't feel tense because you are a good captain. And as I said, we are and they're still awaiting this service. It is not your problem.
Is this your first flight with us?
With you, I think that is my fourth flight with you.
I see.
Well, I'm the co-captain. Was I a good co-captain?
Yes, you're a good co-captain, but he's a captain.
He's the captain. No.
Well, anyway, I want you to know, what actually, make you easy and you have, is actually, this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are only, just doing our job. But the one who really protects us, the one who really gives us this, we always should thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are only human when some make a mistake. But we appreciate the Allah bounty that He gave us this. And we are in the middle of the air now, alhamdulillah, and everything is okay. This is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
I just fell now because we are landing. I have some pain in my
Pressure,
ears.
Yeah, because different pressure. Because the lower you go, the pressure different, so it affects your ears, absolutely. Just chew a gum. Chew a gum.
Give you a gum.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Captain. Now we're coming to the end of our flight, and we really appreciate you coming here and doing this series, a trip with a pilot on the ground. It was truly fun, and I hope to have you again on Let's Talk.
Sure.
It's all in the future.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be hosted here, and I appreciate you inviting me for this program.
Thank you, Captain. Now we have to let you focus on the landing and the passengers, you guys. The seatbelt buckle, fasten your belt. The light is on. Welcome back home to Bosnia. Thank you for flying with Huda TV and Saudi Arabian Airlines, and thank you guys so much. And you viewers at home, I certainly hope you guys enjoyed our 4-part series with Captain Hamoud, a trip with a pilot on the ground. It was really special and fun. And I want to remind you as well of our email address, talk@huda.tv. I don't have any emails to read because nobody sends us any emails. Are there any viewers out there? Where are you guys? So send us an email. Tell us if you like this series, if you like the guests, the host, the topics, everything. Talk@huda.tv, and check out our Facebook page as well. So until next time, we've landed in Bosnia. So until next time, we leave you in the care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but do not ever quit. Success is a failure turned inside out. Let's talk and clear the clouds of doubt. Success is a failure turned inside out. Let's talk and fear the